nation, and a million faces formed together, made for elevation. And the soldier won't surrender faith. It's like a fire that never burns to embers. The voice of the unheard. Love is the answer.
I gotta speak it, believe it, that's how I feel inside.
I can't sit here quiet.
You can take my heart, you can take my breath when you're crying from my cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Sleeping and the shadows could be making history. Through the fire, on the water, used to be a slave, but now you are a conqueror.
They can take my heart, they can take my breath when they're crying from my cold dead chest.
This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us. We're rising up, rising up, we're rising up, rising up, we're rising up. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us. This is how we rise up. Heavy as a hurricane, louder than a freight train. This is how we rise up. Heart is beating faster, feels like thunder. Magic static, call me a fanatic. It's our world, they can never have it. This is how we rise up. It's our resistance, you can't resist us.
And good evening, everybody. I am glad we actually made it here today. It has been a rough day for me, a very busy day, and I almost did not make it today. But here I am. I am here because we have a really important show here tonight. There's a lot going on, not only in the city, not only in the state, but in the world. This world is on fire, and I sense... I don't want to say it, but I really do see a World War III type situation starting to unfold here, where you're going to see some countries start taking advantage. And we'll go into that a little later in the show. For those of you who are first time here, I'm Joe Vollano. I am your host and your guiding light, trying to guide you through all the nonsense that's going on in this world. There is a lot of it, so we need to make sure we stay on top of it. I need to make sure you guys are informed on everything that is going on. So this, like I said, as always, this show always works best when everybody participates. And if you want to be part of the show, give us a call, 203-679-9610. Or you could use straighttalkjv@gmail.com, and you could email me any questions you have there. Or you could join us on the chat, which seems to be very quiet. Is there something going on with the chat today? Because right now it has been silent. So we'll see how that works out. Maybe there's something going on with the chat. Usually you guys have about 30 deep already. But we'll go through that. So let's start today. Since we have a lot of stuff, I don't usually try to get into too much of the... I try not to get too much of the world stage stuff here. I try to keep it local. But unfortunately, it's starting to affect all of us, what's going on in the world today. And when our servicemen and women are being killed, that's something that we all need to stand up and take notice of and say, hey, let's reassess and look to see what the hell is going on over there. And let's see what our leadership is doing to make sure that our men and women that are serving overseas, whether or not in the military or State Department or in whatever capacity they're over there in, that they are being kept safe. And I do not think that is happening. Obviously, that is clear after today, but we'll get into that. We do have a couple of things about the city that we need to get through first. And it's been a couple of different articles that have come out that have, I've talked with some people about this previously, and we're talking about the article that came out about a study that was done for downtown, and the study points to 24 Colony Street as a place where Meriden should invest. While I've said in the past, yes, are we going to need to invest some more money downtown in order to get it to thrive? Yes, that's going to need to happen. Is giving $4.1 million to a developer who already has tax abatements of 80, 70, 60, and so forth for 20 years, is that the way to do it? That is absolutely not the way to do it. They have more than enough incentive to help the city grow downtown. And if they're not willing to do that, I do not see the city giving them a dime. At least they better not be giving them a dime to build that out. Now, I have said in the past, if the city is going to spend money, and which again, I said that the city is going to need to spend money in order to bring businesses downtown, they should be spending it, they should be giving it directly to the businesses. So 24 Colony Street is a prime example of this. I said this when I looked into 24 Colony Street because I was going to bring filler up offices down there. And one, they wanted an exorbitant amount of money per square foot. And then I had to build it out. And building that area out, because that place is nothing. There is nothing there. You would have to do everything. It would easily cost you anywhere from about $50,000, and if you wanted to do a restaurant, to $100,000. Easy to build that out. And that was going to be on the new owner. That's not right. So the city wants to sit there and try to provide money to a local business that's trying to start up there. I believe they can give money that way to help the new businesses with their startup costs, and then give them a tax break for 3 years, because everyone knows the first 3 years of any business is the toughest ones. Usually, if you make it through the first 3 years, your percentage of likelihood that you're going to succeed and to continue to build your business is usually pretty good. So if you give a tax break for the first 3 years, let them build up their capital, let them, again, the depreciation of their equipment, the city will still make money in the long run, and we get a thriving downtown. I think that's the first step of doing something downtown. Next part of downtown is that this really goes for the entire city, is that there is absolutely no communication. I don't care what City Hall says, and Tim Coons could sit there and say it over and over again, that there is good communication between the city of Meriden, City Hall, and the business owners of this city. That is not true. That is not true. And it was a prime example. I was down in downtown. I was meeting with another business owner, and he said, "Look, we had the National Night Out. It was right across the street, but yet nobody told him that it was being held there, so that he could have stayed open late. He could have put balloons out, and he could have welcomed people to his shop." I mean, you're bringing people downtown. You might as well showcase the entire downtown. But that's just one of many things of where we can see a lack of communication between City Hall and the business owners. That's just clear to see. Whether we're talking about the parking garage and that debacle that was in the paper about a month ago, where again, the business owners who actually give validated parking had absolutely no idea about it. So these are the kind of things. So what I am looking to do, and a couple other people are starting to join in, is that we're going to try to start a business owner association in the city of Meriden. And the purpose of that is to help businesses stay connected with what's going on in the community and what's going on with City Hall. And it's a one-stop shop for City Hall to supply information. It's just it's just one more place where information can be gathered. And I think that's terrific. And it doesn't cost you anything. You know, some people say the Chamber of Commerce, of course, it's the first thing the city always comes back with. Oh, yeah, but do you know what? The Chamber of Commerce is going to cost you about $400 or $500, and that's a minimum. And I got to tell you, I've been part of I was part of the Chamber of Commerce for the first 3 years Filler Up. And I tell you what, I'm not really excited about it. I got nothing for my money. That's just being honest. So I didn't join the Chamber of Commerce again this year. I don't waste money. And if I'm not getting anything, if I'm not getting any return on my investment, why the hell would I sit there and throw them money? So I think this is a great opportunity for business owners in the city of Meriden to get connected with not only the city, but other business owners where you can network, have get-togethers, see what other businesses are going on in the city. And so that's something that me and a couple of others are starting to get off the ground. And we'll have more about that as as that unfolds, hopefully over the next couple weeks. So, there are some things that you guys could do. Make sure that, when you're shopping local, obviously, is always important. I know I try to shop local as much as I possibly can. But, that's how you revitalize downtown. I mean, you spent $99,000 on this study with what? 37 people? 39 people. 39 people. You spent $100,000 and 39 people responded to the survey. Are you freaking kidding me? That is the city at its finest wasting money. But they love to waste money. We all know that. They love wasting money. So it's just become ridiculous. But so that's what's going on downtown. I'm waiting to hear back from the economic development director with Joe Fest. I reached out to him a couple nights ago. I know he's been very busy. Hopefully, we're gonna have him on hopefully soon because he needs to explain this. Because I'm reading this article the other day and I'm like, what are they thinking? So hopefully we'll get some information from him on what's really going on down there and what's their plans for down there. Obviously, the steering committee for the American Rescue Plan met on Monday and they got their leadership. So I'm taking it they're going to spend some money probably downtown. It'll be interesting to see where they want to spend money. I think Rhodey, of course, would love to spend all of it downtown because he's an idiot. But he doesn't know his ass from his elbow either way. So, we'll see. We'll see where that leads out. Excuse me. As I see, as everyone knows, the Miller Company has sold to another company, and they're looking to, and they obviously are going to close the Miller plant here in Meriden. But it looks like Miller, they're not stupid. They're like, well, everybody else loves to get paid off by the city. So it was in the paper today that the Miller Company is looking to sell the Meriden plant to the city. It's like, what the fuck would the city want with that building? What? The city, of course, don't get me wrong. This city absolutely loves, and we just talked about wasting money and spending money. Why in the hell would the city want to buy this property? Why? They wouldn't. They shouldn't want to. Let some other company buy it and put something there. Why are we always so quick to want to buy things up? And this is an appraisal value of $5.4 million. Why would we want to buy this up? take it off the tax roll. Whether this company is there or not, they own the building, they're paying the taxes on it. Why the hell would we want to take that off the tax roll and go ahead and buy it? But again, it's just one more thing for the city to buy. And they love to spend money. So it's just absolutely, it just blows my mind. But again, I don't blame the company. I don't blame Miller. They're smart. They're trying to offload their assets. They're trying to, well, really, it's their liability. Because right now it's going to be an empty building that they're paying taxes on. So what's the best way of fixing that? Sell the damn thing to the city. Just sell it off. They're not going to use it. So why pay taxes on it? So city representatives, city leaders, no, we do not buy this piece of property. There is no use for it. There is nothing the city could do with it. So why would we even think about it? And why this was thought of in the past is ridiculous. So I hope that letter that went out to Mr. Fest and to Mr. Coons, I hope it found its way into the shredder, because that's where it belongs and that's where it should stay. So, excuse me. So we'll leave it at that for now, but we'll see how that unfolds and see if the city actually, I know the mayor was against it. I saw in the paper that he was against it, because he's right. You can't buy something. You can't buy something if there's no plan for it. I can see if the city needed it for something. The city definitely doesn't need it. Definitely doesn't need it. We own enough crap in this city that they shouldn't. They need to start offloading commercial properties, not trying to retain more. So hopefully, like I said, it assessed at $5.4 million, and they're being so gracious. They're going to sell it to us for that appraised value. They're not even going to try to highball it. Of course not, because they're just trying to fucking offload it so they get off the taxes. That's $5.3 million. You take that by 70%. So you're paying close to what? Almost $3.5 million on the taxes on it. So no, city officials, stay the hell away from it. You have no business being near there. Just let it be. If they can sell it off, great, to another private investor or to another company. Awesome. No problem. We should support that and try to help them build whatever it is they want to build there to hire Meriden residents, hopefully. So, but I also came across, now this came to me via Facebook, because I couldn't believe it when I saw it. And then somebody sent me the article on it. And it said, Meriden police defend response to fatal shooting. And I'm sitting there going, why would the police have to defend themselves in response to a shooting? They didn't shoot anybody. They got on scene and there were 8 people there. And there was a gentleman on the ground. Again, I pray for him and his family. It's an awful way to go. But what did the police have to do with it? Because the police didn't give CPR. Listen, and I hate to say this, because you know that when you pull up to a scene and the guy has fatal wounds, one to the head, you know, there's nothing the cop could do. There's nothing a rescue person's going to do. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And they complained that, well, nobody was giving him CPR. When the police arrived, there was no one giving him CPR. He had 7 people there with him. Not a single one of them were doing it. But it always comes back to the police department. And that blows my mind, because when I had to read it, when I read it, I was like, what the hell is the police department going to do? The guy shot in the head. He was basically executed. And there's 7 people there. So yes, the first thing the police department is going to do when they get there is secure the scene. You have people that are sitting there, just standing there. You don't know who they are, but you're responding to gunshots. So yes, you're going to secure the scene. But like I said, when the cops pulled up to the scene, nobody was giving this guy CPR. Nobody. Because there's nothing, unfortunately, that anybody could do. It's why the sudden attack again. Why the first thing they do is attack the police department is out of it just blows my mind. And listen, I understand the family is grieving, but why aren't they yelling at the 7 people that were already there? Obviously, they knew the guy knew them, but they weren't doing anything. They weren't doing anything for him. But it's so quick to blame police officers. Not to mention, what the hell are they doing outside at 2 o'clock in the morning? You know, nothing, I always hear, nothing ever good comes when you're hanging out at 2 o'clock in the morning. But of course, it's always the police officer's fault. It's always the cop's fault. Now, is this something the new CRB? And we haven't gotten into that yet. So is this something the CRB would look at? The police, they don't feel that this could be a complaint about a police officer. They didn't do enough. Is this where the CRB comes into play? And if, in case anyone missed it, the CRB, the Community Review Board, went before the Finance Committee. Now, when we talked about the CRB here in Meriden, we talked about New Haven. And New Haven is what they're trying to model it after. Now, the city of New Haven has allocated over $100,000 to the CRB in New Haven, which again is nothing more than a sham. Nothing more than a sham. It's just an attack vehicle for the community to go against the police department. That's all it is. So New Haven's spending over $100,000. Do you know how much the city of Meriden is looking to spend on their CRB? Well, what they're going to try to tell you that the CRB is going to cost to run? $6,500. One, they never told us where they came up with that figure. I think they just pulled it out of their ass. But they think that $6,500 is going to be enough to run the CRB. The Citizens Review Board is only going to cost $6,500. That, if you believe that, you are on crack. That's the only explanation for it. $6,500 to run a Citizens Review Board when New Haven is spending over $100,000. You know that's where it's going to end up. And again, the CRB is nothing but a joke to begin with. It's just, again, another vehicle for anti-police residents and community activists to sit there and go against police officers. That's all it is. And I guarantee you, this article, so this article that we saw today about the police department not giving first aid to this gentleman who unfortunately passed away due to multiple gunshots, one to the head. I think this would probably be one of the first ones to come before the board. And I bet you would hear those board members going on a field day about how insensitive the police department is and how we need to make sure they have more sensitivity training and that they're doing their job. But again, never would it be discussed that there were 7 other people sitting there doing absolutely nothing. This is where we're at in this country. Now the rescue got there 10 minutes later, and he was dead. There was nothing the cops could have done. And from what I hear, this whole thing is on video. It's all been caught on video because there were cameras back there. We need to stop blaming police officers for everything that goes on. My questions are more, what were you doing out there at 2 o'clock in the morning? That'd be my first question. Because nothing ever comes good when you're hanging out on a corner or behind a building at 2 o'clock in the morning. But those are questions that will never be asked because that doesn't fit a narrative that they want. Never fits the narrative. So therefore, let's not talk about it. We can't talk about people taking responsibility for their own actions. And I posted up today because it was in my memories of my Facebook. And it says you're free to make choices, but you're not free of the consequences of those choices. And that's something that's missing in this world today. Everybody wants to make their own choices, but then the consequences for them, well, even though they're a bad choice, we don't want to take the consequences. We don't want to be held responsible for them. Personal responsibility, that's what's missing in our society today. Everybody is a victim in one way or another. Everybody gets to play victim. And it's an absolute shame that people allow other people to play victim. Not to me, though. You're not playing victim around me. You're only a victim of your own stupidity if you do the things you do. So that's what's going on in the city today. There are a couple others, but I'd be remiss if I didn't at least tackle these two things that came up today. And that is what the hell is going on in fucking Afghanistan. I know most people sit there and who cares about what's going on in Afghanistan? It's all the way over there. We've been there 20 years. Who cares? We all need to come home. Which is true. I do like to see everybody come home. And I think, again, Trump had a good plan for bringing us all home. But did you notice who popped their head out today? Have you heard the word or the group ISIS in the last 3 years, 3.5 years? No, you haven't. Anyone know why? Maybe because Trump bombed them to a friggin' oblivion. And they were as scared as, it reminds me of now they're all popping their head back up again because they know there's no retaliation coming. Listen, Biden, let's just put it out there. Biden is lost. President Biden doesn't know what the hell is going on. Hell, he doesn't even know where he is half the time. And this is the man that's supposed to be leading? Now listen, love or hate Trump. Love or hate Trump. You knew not to fuck with the United States. You knew. Because you knew what he was capable of. You knew what Trump was capable of. Not even that, you didn't have to be afraid of him, but you had to respect what he could do to you. That's what made Trump so powerful. That's what made Reagan so powerful. Peace through strength. Nobody wanted to mess with Ronald Reagan. Nobody wanted to mess with Donald Trump. Not because they thought they were crazy, because they knew what they were capable of unleashing on you if you so dared give them a chance. If anyone could sit here and honestly say that this right here, what happened today, would not immediately have gotten a strong response from Trump, if you were part of ISIS, you'd be in a cave, you'd be in a hole trying to hide, but you would never be able to because they would find you. But see, these people don't fear Biden. They don't fear him. They don't respect him. And that was a prime example today. And then the responses that came from the White House today, that's what aggravated me the most. That's what aggravated me most was the response. And then to find out that the Biden administration handed over fucking names of Americans to the Taliban? I mean, what the hell? What do you think was going to happen? When asked today whether or not that list was true, they couldn't deny it because it is true. And they said they did it to get people to safety. Really? You thought the Taliban, who just came in and took over a government that we were trying to build for 20 years, was all of a sudden going to be on our side? I mean, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? This is what happens. And again, I don't even want to say liberals, because listen, anyone who knows my politics when it comes to federal government, I friggin' hate them all. There are very few representatives in Washington that I trust, and I could probably count them on one hand. Other than that, I think they're all friggin' criminals, and they're all crooks, and probably even worse. This is what happens when you let a politician run a country. And I always said, you know, Biden is going to be, at the end of the day, Biden is going to be the greatest thing that's ever happened to the country, and the greatest and the worst thing that ever happened for this country. And this is, and I'll explain why. He is the worst thing for this country because he is what you're seeing today. He is destroying this friggin' country piece by piece. And he's only 6 months in. He's only 7 months in. And he is single-handedly destroying what is great about this country. But he is also the greatest thing because people are going to realize, like I said, love or hate Trump, for 4 years, we had a roaring economy before the pandemic. We had low unemployment, low inflation. Everybody was doing much better. So love him or hate him, those are facts that are undisputable. And the best thing about him is he was not a politician and he didn't play the political game. And he got things done. Everything he made a promise to, he got done. But now you have a politician back in office. You have the Good Old Boy Network. We see it here in Meriden all the time with the Good Old Boy Network. That fucking crew is back. We know politicians cannot fix things. Politicians create more problems than they fix. This is a prime example of it. Everything that is going on today in this country and in the world is due to politicians, not liberals, not conservatives. These are politicians. They don't care about you. They care about nothing but themselves and their special interests. That's it. That's all they care about. And the country is starting to see that this is the problem. The problem was not Trump. The problem is politicians. which is why, again, I'm the first one to say we need term limits for Congress. We definitely need term limits. Will that ever happen? No, because who's going to take away power from themselves? I wish there was a way that we could do a referendum, a national referendum to change it. That would be amazing. I would love to see a referendum come before the American people. Do you believe there should be term limits for congressmen and senators? I guarantee a majority, I would probably say 80% of the country would say absolutely. But again, there's going to be no way that you're going to get politicians to try to take power away from themselves. Because it makes them too much money. It's the only job you could go into poor and come out rich. It's the only job. And they come out rich thanks to you. I have no love for politicians down in Washington. Absolutely none. Like I said, other than a very select few. And again, we're just starting to see the good old boy network back in action, screwing things up just like they always do. But like I said, it's going to be a blessing because you're going to see Trump come back. And I'm calling it now. Trump will win 2024. Trump and DeSantis will be the next president and vice president of the United States. And that scares the establishment. And when I talk about establishment, I'm not talking about liberals or Republicans or liberals or conservatives. They're all mixed. I'm talking about the establishment of Washington, D.C. Those who make the rules. Those are the people that hated Trump, whether you're a Republican or Democrat. You care more about power and making money than you care about the American people. So when I say establishment, that's who I'm talking about. The media, who profits off of this destruction and this constant bickering back and forth with each other. The media loves it. They're scared, you know what, if Trump gets back into office. Because Trump, again, is going to do what he said he was going to do. And Trump doesn't have to fear anything because he can't run again. So Trump can't run again, so he don't care. He's going to do what he went there to finish when he first got there the first 4 years. He has an agenda. And it's to get America back out front. And the problem the media and the establishment is going to have is when Trump gets back in and he fixes these problems again in less than 4 years, it's the American people are finally going to see what the real problem has always been. And that is politicians. This country was never meant to be run by career politicians. The founders of this country wanted to be switching out representatives. And they wanted a wide range of people from all different backgrounds to be in Congress. That's what's needed. We need a reset. And Trump is going to be that reset. Like I said, love him or hate him, it doesn't matter. You knew what you were getting. He didn't hide it. He didn't play games. Whether you loved him or hated him, you knew where he stood on everything. And yes, he used to send out some mean tweets. Hell, I used to look at some of those tweets and be like, hey, man, shut up. But the results, at the end of the day, the media, politicians, the establishment cannot sit there and dispute the results. And the results were good. Now, I'm not going to go replay and revisit the 2020 election. It's over. It's done. I said it before. Do I believe it was a fair election? Absolutely not. I think there was a lot of corruption in it. But I also said at the same time that the President of the United States, at the time, President Trump, his team had an opportunity to sit there and fight it in court. And they did a piss poor job at it. So Cindy Blumenthal and Rudy Giuliani did a friggin' horrible job representing the president. You had your chance, you blew it. We move on. Like I said, I always said from the moment he got in there, he was going to be a blessing and a curse. And it's starting to show. Unfortunately, it's taken human life. And that should not happen. The president needs to take direct action right now to stop it. But the fact that this administration has given names of Americans to the Taliban is absolutely horrifying and disgraceful. And hopefully we can get those Americans out before it's too late. And if anyone else missed something else in his speech today, because I know this turned a couple of heads today, when Biden said he was instructed to do certain things. So let me repeat that. He was instructed. Who is running this freaking country? I think it's a valid question. I think it's a valid question. Who is running this country? And I think, and the one good thing I'll say is that at least the media is taking this on. Because who instructs the president to do anything? Huh. It just feeds into this narrative again. Perception is reality. We talk about that a lot here. It just blows my mind on what's going on. It's somewhat surreal. And you wonder how much longer he has. It's just mind-boggling to me. And again, my heart goes out to those 13 U.S. service members that were killed today. And they should be in the forefront of everybody's mind today. They're there doing a thankless job for thankless people. And that's just a fact. We spent 20 years there. 20 years we spent there. And look what's happened. We're right back to where we started with 20 years ago. The Taliban and now ISIS, which is Al-Qaeda coming back. And as long as Biden doesn't do anything about it, the worse it's going to get. Which took me to where I was talking about this when we first started the show about, again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just look at the reality of what's going on. And when I said I see a World War III coming. And here are your players. I'm going to throw them out there for you. 911, no, you're not going to see another 911. You're going to see Russia, China, Iran, and they're going to team up with the Taliban and ISIS. That's your foe. That's what's coming. And we're bringing, I guess we're, at least I guess you could be somewhat correct with the 9/11. Maybe not at that scale, but they're bringing C-130s full of Afghan refugees to America. Unvetted. Unvetted. These people are all unvetted, not vaccinated, and they're bringing them to this country. And what are they going to do with them when they're here? They're bringing them to military bases, and then what? Where do they go from there? They're going to be released out here. Again, they don't know who these people are. It is chaotic in Afghanistan right now, especially at the airport. And people are just throwing themselves on the planes. You don't think that Al-Qaeda and the Taliban and ISIS are not taking advantage of it? They're getting a free ride to the United States. Would it be a huge wake-up call? Sarah, I wish I could agree with you, but I think there are some on the far left that really wouldn't mind it. They want it. That's sad. That's sad that's where it would come. Looks like my camera froze there, so let's take a look at our other one. Here we go. Hi everybody. I'm gonna look at this camera now. All the way up there. My other one froze. Listen, there's people on the left that they really despise this country as founded and as it's being currently set up. So it's just, we have a lot of work to do. And hopefully it won't be too late. I think 2022 is going to be a huge year for America. When Congress and when the House of Representatives and the Senate are up, it's going to be up to each and every one. Just like I say, listen, this year is just as important. Just as important this year. You need to get out there and help these candidates get elected. It's going to be even more vitally important for next year when the House and the Senate are up for grabs. Because Republicans need to take over the House and the Senate. They need to take it back. That will at least slow down the craziness that this administration is trying to push forward with. So, again, make sure you're out there supporting your candidates. I know, I think We the People tonight, the We the People town committee is meeting tonight and they're endorsing their candidates tonight. So We the People is a third party group here in Meriden that they are putting their slate forward tonight. So I will wait to see who they put up. I'm sure that maybe when it's done, I don't know if somebody's there or not. We'll see who they put up, because I think it'll be quite interesting. September 1st deadline is coming up. So that's the last day of any changes to the ticket. So that date is coming up. So that we'll have one more show before then. Next week, we will have a show we'll have a special show next Wednesday instead of Thursday. Thursday, I have to attend an event down in New Haven. And then there will be no show the following Sunday, because I will be in the Cape for my cousin's wedding. So I am looking forward to that. So we will have a show on Sunday, and then we will have one on Wednesday. So that should be interesting. And hopefully we'll get an answer to the We the People ticket and see who they put forth. And like I said, September 1st is the last day for changes to any ticket. So if nobody has any changes, then it's that's your ticket. That is what it is. Once it's printed, it's printed. There are no changes. No more takebacks. So I know there was one change. Frank Scotto from Area 1, he left the race, and Norberto Gonzalez has taken over. So, hey, Mike, what are you late for? What was more important than joining us here, sir? What was more important? I hope it was worth it. Nice to see you, Mike. So we'll see what the final slates look like come September 2nd. Like I said, once that's done, then we'll be good to go, and we'll be able to get everybody in here. So, Mike, you came. We're going to be wrapping it up here. Like I said, we will have a show on Sunday and then Wednesday, and then we are off for a couple while I go celebrate a great wedding. So, Bicentennial Parade Project. Well, Mike, what is that all about? Is that for here in Meriden? See, Mike's throwing something at us here at the last second. Mike, if it's something we need to know about, you need to call in so you can tell us about it real quick. Because I don't know what the Bicentennial Parade project is. So if you want to give us a call, let us know what it is, because that seems pretty interesting. Doing it last second, Mike. You know what, Mike? We'll save it for Sunday, and I'll get more information from you on it, and then we'll be able to spread it out and see what it's all about. Again, if you know any business owners in the city of Meriden, make sure you tell them to reach out to me. We are starting, like I said, at the beginning of the program, we are starting a business group. Oh, look at that, Mike's calling. Hold on a second. We'll bring Mike on here. There you are, Mike. You there, Mike? Can you hear me, Mike?
Yeah, I can hear you, Joe.
All right, good. We could all hear you. So what is this project?
This project is, hear me, Joe?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hey, well, this project here is, I don't know if anybody's seen that I've been posting a lot of slides on pictures on the internet of old photographs. These are slides that my dad took of all the parades from the 50s and the 70s. Now, this project here is slides from the 1976 parade in Meriden, the Bicentennial Parade 200-year anniversary, and I've been fixing up all these pictures so that people can see them. And boy, did I get responses more than I've ever thought I would get. I found pictures of Torrington, and I ended up putting them put the two old pictures from the 1950s and Torrington chatter, and boy, did that explode. Their historical society got with me, and they ended up wanting the downloads, the original photos. So this thing has turned into a bigger project than I thought.
It always works out that way. So,
but if people want to check out, I put a lot of the pictures on old pictures of Meriden, and also on my page too as well. So people can a lot of memories. People in their 70s saw these pictures, they see themselves in them, and it's really a good booster for Meriden to see that pride that was here. You know what I mean?
So Mike, you grew up here in Meriden, right?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to ask you since I have you on the phone here. One, you post these to, there's a Facebook page, right? You know you're from Meriden, and they usually post a lot of old pictures, correct?
Yes, I try to put all these photos on about every page that has to do with Meriden, so that everybody can see these. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Mike, I've been to keep everyone I talk to that comes from Meriden. Again, I never grew up here in Meriden. I moved here in 2006. So I'm not familiar with some of the things that happened previous. But every time I talk to someone who grew up here in Meriden, I keep hearing about this expo. Can you explain what this expo is?
Was in 1976.
So what is the expo?
Well, the expo was the next birthday of the Meriden. That was I can't remember what year. God, I should be his historian, but that was another birthday of the of Meriden, I believe, and that was the expo, and that was downtown. They blocked the roads off, and that was everybody got together. That was a big exposition. That was 1976. Well, and that was also the year that they had the Freedom Train pulled into Meriden as well. I don't know what year the expo was. I think that was 1980, right?
What is the Freedom Train?
The Freedom Train was a train that came down the Hartford line that parked in Meriden. It had everything to do with what the Americans' birthday had all sorts of history inside the Freedom Train. I would have to do a little more research, but I don't have pictures of that. But my dad was a parade buff, so because he was in one of the drum corps when he was a young kid, and so the parades had a lot to meaning because his brother was a parade director for the band, and the fife and drum corps were prevalent back in the days when our parents were young. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Mike, I'm really fascinated by this expo thing, and I think it's something that would be great to bring back.
I agree, and I think since I've been posting these pictures, people want a big parade again. They want the big parade like the anniversary that we had in Meriden when we had the parade in the 50s. I think it was 50 something. I posted that, but the floats were huge. The pride was big. Everything was on a grand level. It was epic level. We haven't had that. We haven't had a parade like that. We haven't had people that parade there. The 200th birthday of Meriden was over 3 hours long. That's insane.
Well, Mike, we need to get together because I think this needs to happen again. And the more people I talk to about this, the more excited I get about it.
People, since I've been posting these parade pictures, people have been blasting my emails and in my Facebook because they want that again. They want that. They want that pride back, and they're just busting at the seam to do this. You know what I mean?
Isn't that great? Been asking me, isn't that great that people want to have pride?
It is. And Mr. Cardona's father posted some things about the original Pride, which was very, very heartwarming. He definitely sounds like a Republican.
Who,
the way he has so much pride.
Who, Hector?
yeah, Hector. The pride that he has is incredible. With the police and all that, it blows me away. But he thinks that it's not taught in the schools. This local pride going from the local level all the way to the national level, the pride is gone. I don't think they're even teaching the history of Meriden in school. And I think that's the start of it. If you don't have pride in your community when you're a youngster, what blew me away more was that I saw myself in this 1976 parade. I actually marched in this one. So that this one that I'm posting has a lot of meaning to me.
Yeah.
So
how old were you at the time?
I was, probably 10 years old or 9 years old.
We'll have to see those pictures.
But yeah, they will go up to all the sites, and it's nice to see the history of Meriden, especially with those two big parades. Had a lot of meaning. People were telling me that they would never have the 150th anniversary parade. There was nothing ever like it, and they're true. That generation went big time.
And when was
when
this
they did
expo?
it? They did it right.
When was it?
Yeah, I think the expo was 1980.
No, and what month was it? It's the birthday of Meriden. What's the date? What month was it?
Let's see. It was. I don't know. I'd have to see. You're asking me the numbers, and I'm not that sharp again with the numbers. But
no, I'm just asking.
Let's see.
Do we know what month it was every year?
That was the expo had to be 200 anniversary.
Yeah, but do we know what month it was held on in every year?
It was in the summertime. I was at the expo when I was a kid. I was at the expo. I was also at the Freedom Train. I marched in the 1976 parade. So these are all big ones. And this is stuff that I will be posting up. I'm doing. My dad passed, and I've got boxes of slides. So these slides hold the memories better than any pictures, because the slides are so big that you can see your face. The clarity. People are blown away by the clarity of restoring a slide versus a picture. You see facial expressions. The color is insane. So it does bring back a lot of memories. I have people still emailing me or texting me today about, keep them coming. Don't stop. Well, eventually I'm going to run out, people.
Well,
I'm not going to have slides forever.
Well, I thank your dad for keeping all those memories alive. It's good.
It's nice that people said that a lot of these slides were floating in a box, Joe. So I mean, I'm just thankful that I got to them as soon as I did.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to talk again about this in the future. I think this is great. I think we definitely do need something here in Meriden to bring some pride and some community outreach to everybody. And I think this is going to be a great way of doing that. So hopefully we'll be able to get something together for next year. But we'll talk about that.
Well, you have to have a theme, and then you have to get a committee, and then you have to find out what a lot of people want to do is bring a fife and drum corps parade only that brings back that old value. Have fife and drum corps from all over the area to come to Meriden and have that something of old school value back. That is people love to hear that style of bands. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I can't wait to talk some more about this with you offline and online here as we go forward in the next couple of months. So, Mike, I thank you, sir.
Great. Well, thank.
Oh, did I lose you? Okay. So thank you, Mike, for calling in. Again, it's just absolutely terrific. The more I hear about this expo, I get excited about it because, listen, I'm all for stuff like that. If it brings the community together, it brings some pride and a sense of togetherness as coming here from Meriden. I didn't grow up here. I do consider this my adopted hometown. Some people love me. Some people hate me. They would love to see me go, but I ain't going anywhere anytime soon. But We'll talk about this again on Sunday. We'll get an update on what's going on around the world on Sunday, and we'll talk about. Hopefully, we'll get Mr. Fest on, so he could kind of walk us through what the city's plan on doing, whether it's the Miller Building, whether it's Colony Street, and then we'll see where campaigns are at and see if the slates are solidified or not. So, but until then, as always, I love you guys. I thank you so much for coming out here today and listening. I'm glad we were able to do this today. I really thought that I was not going to be able to make it back in time. I'm glad I did. So until we meet again on Sunday, I thank you. You guys have an absolutely terrific night. I love you. God bless you. God bless Meriden. God bless these great United States of America. And God bless our men and women around the world who are out there keeping us safe. Keeping us safe. And keeping others safe. Because like I said, it's been a thankless job. They're in parts of the world where they don't want us there. Well, most do, but these terrorists do not. And they're taking their chances to take shots at us. So God bless them. Those men and women in the service. Stay safe. Stay frosty. I will see you guys on Sunday. I love you. Take care and good night.
And the million faces form together, made for elevation. And the soldier won't surrender faith. It's like a fire that never burns to embers. The voice